Hi, I'm Cass. Welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to share with you my very first bullet journal. Now, I started bullet journaling like many because of the queen, Amanda Rachel Lee. Now, I started watching her videos back in 2017, but I didn't start bullet journaling until 2018 myself, just because I'm a bit of a perfectionist and I had to start at the beginning of the year. But regardless, I did start bullet journaling then, and now I've been bullet journaling for 4 years and 2 months now. So 2022 is going to be my 5th year of journaling, which is insane. I am so glad that I've stuck with it this long, and I don't really see myself stopping anytime soon, but my style has changed immensely. And that's kind of why I wanted to create this little mini video series. So this is part 1 of 3 of me showing my old journals, because I think seeing the evolution and the functionality shift from when I was in high school to when I was in college to now being out, having a job and having side hobbies that I'm working towards, it's very different, and it kind of shows why bullet journaling is so effective, because you create it for yourself and you get to change it depending on what use you need it for. So I thought this would be a fun way to kind of just show it off, so I'm going to do a little flip through, talk about some of the pages, and without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right into the video. So with 2018, I have 2 journals that I filled up. This one goes from January to September, and then this one goes from October to actually June 2019, but I'll only show you up to December, obviously. So let me just set this aside, and we're going to open up to my very first page in this journal, which is a key. Now, this was the one and only key I ever made, and I also numbered the pages, which was also the one and only time I numbered pages. My index, that is half complete because I never referred back to the index, but when I first started bullet journaling, I just made every spread that Amanda Rachel Lee had made, because I didn't know how to bullet journal, I didn't know where to begin, but I 100% believe in making spreads that other people make and then finding what works for you and what doesn't. My 2018 at a glance. And this is kind of funny because I don't have any space to fill in like events happening, so what's the point of it? I don't know. Birthdays, and then we get down to my very first month. So this month's theme was Be More Chill, which was a musical, and my friend showed me this musical before it actually went on Broadway, so I felt very special that I knew it before it became popular on Broadway. Little, you know, oh, I'm so special moment, you know? I don't know. I'm just messing about, but very simple cover, very, I don't know, just very simple compared to what I do now. Just, it's so wholesome. As you can see, I kind of was trying to like get in the hang of actually using it. I think I didn't get my journal until like January 7th, and so setting all this up, I was such a perfectionist with these spreads. Oh my goodness. I just can't believe like this was where my journal started. It's insane. My mood tracker, my habit tracker, I did like on a sideways thing. I don't know, I was just trying stuff out. And then my first weekly spread, which obviously I didn't use. And then I'm gonna actually blur that out, but I did little blips of writing in between each weekday, which eventually I'll actually not do. I'll do it after all of it, but this is my next weekly. Then there's just random pages in the midst of everything, so I realized I wanted a homework tracker, so I created a homework tracker, quote ideas for like what pages I wanted to do in the future, stuff like that. Another weekly, this time a different layout, and then all the books I read in January, which was my absolute favorite spread, and still is just so aesthetic to look at. And this was my first time reading through the Brother Band Chronicles by John Flanagan, who's my favorite author, so that's kind of cool to see. The little stars are like if it's a new book that I haven't read before. Moving on to February, I have never been prouder of a spread. This was my first time using a white gel pen, and I thought it was the coolest thing in existence, and I used it so much throughout this spread to highlight these weapons. Though this is Ruby, which is an anime, but since it's made in America, it's not technically an anime. but I was obsessed with Ruby at the time, and I did a spread featuring, or a theme featuring all the different weapons and such, because they're super cool. And I still am so proud of this mood tracker. I think it's pretty snazzy. There's actually so many of these books I still do not own. Actually, I own quite a few of these, but there are a few that I still don't own, and I wanted these books back in 2018. Also, I think I mentioned this in a lot of my recent setups that I don't actually do weeklies anymore because I don't use them, but in high school I would make these like in class, and it was just very functional and it worked for me, but when it stopped working, I stopped using them. And then I did back-to-back themes, so another Ruby theme for March. And a lot of these spreads actually are incomplete, and I had like half-cooked ideas, but then I got busy, or like I fell behind in tracking. And it's inevitable when you start a new habit, which bullet journaling I consider like a habit. When you start a new habit, it's not gonna stick immediately. You have to practice, and even now I fall behind in my bullet journal sometimes, and like I said, this is my 5th year doing it, so. You just can't be super perfectionist about it, which it's easy to preach about now since I've been doing it for 4 years, but at the time, everything had to just be perfect, and I would be annoyed if it wasn't. April was Panic at the Disco, so a lot of my themes are just whatever I was into at the time. I did a theme over, so I had gotten into Panic at the Disco. I don't know if I saw the concert this month and that's why I did it, or I just felt like doing it. These spreads were actually not complete, and I went back before I finished my journal because God forbid I had empty pages, but this was a cool, I just want to mention this was cool because I remember how I did it, because it's like a smoke that I was trying to go for. So I'd color on my eraser and then erase on the page to create kind of this like smoky effect with my markers. This was also one of my favorites because, again, white gel pens, revolutionary for me. Sorry, I'm like trying to skip all my weekly writings. It's like a little diary entry and I don't really want y'all reading them. May was Ready Player One. I watched the movie 3 times in theaters. Like, I was obsessed with that movie. And I'm also obsessed with this calendar. I still think it was very creative, even though these little like pixel things, I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know how I had the patience for that, but I think this is cute. I think this is one of my better older spreads. And you can always see kind of when I stopped tracking or when I kind of lost track, or it happens, it happens. And this month, I didn't read any books, which I find so hard to believe that I went an entire month without reading. Oh, I didn't want to write the F word, so I just did shut the F up. I was adorable. And again, see like a half-made pages. Didn't use any of the weeklies. Clearly I was busy in May. That would have been the end of the school year, so I guess that makes sense. June, flowers. This is so ugly. I want to talk about it. I don't know why I thought I could fit a sideways calendar on here. This was fun. We did like a mile challenge between the 3 of my friends, and we try to like run a mile every day, and I kept track of like when they texted me that, hey, they did their mile. Cute little quote page that I'm pretty sure I just copied off Pinterest. These trees are janky, bro. Daggum. Sorry, I don't mean to criticize old me, but those trees, I don't know. I remember being so proud of this page too. The colors are very pretty. It's so interesting to see like what I was reading at the time. This is when I first read A Court of Thorns and Roses. Cute. Oh my goodness. This is why I love bullet journaling. Like, it's a little time capsule for each year, and it's cool to see like when I first read books. And then I've reread that book like 7 times now. It's crazy. I must mention my finance tracker. The most important spread I ever did, because this really helped with learning how I spend money and how quickly small things like add up. So it was very good for me to like start that in high school to now when I'm an adult. I have better money spending habits than some of my friends or some of the people I know that I work with. And so, not to be all like high and mighty, but I think knowing how to budget and knowing how to manage your finances is very important because you have to have good finances to live. Side tangent aside, July was a Amanda Rachel Lee remake. At least some of the pages were an Amanda Rachel Lee remake. This was not, and neither was this. This is just so out there compared to like what the rest of my theme was looking like. Some of these color choices are questionable for sure. This is so, just gross. I hate it so much. And I only read 2 books that month. Oh, and that's when I read An Ember in the Ashes as well. Old me had good reading tastes. I still think I have decent reading taste, but I don't know, old me was finding all the gems. Ugh, rough. This, I remember making it and hating it, and I still hate it, so we're just gonna skip that. My first Pokemon theme. I've done like 3 Pokemon themes at this point now, and probably will do more. I just love Pokemon themes, they're so fun. I really wish I actually completed all of these spreads, but that didn't happen. My habit tracker apparently was going to be gym badges, but never happened. I also butchered the word schedule, and it always cracks me up looking back that this is like my school page, and God forbid I know how to spell. I was also on something with my reading, daggum. That's a terrifying Jigglypuff. I love these pages side by side though. They're so pretty. And then comes, I don't even want to show this to the internet, it's so bad. My first Harry Potter bullet journal theme is a half-cooked Honeydukes theme, which I still think would have been really cute if I actually did it. This page is adorable, I think. The colors, like the little like frames, but then this didn't happen, and God knows what this is. It's functional though. Coloring the whole page, I don't know why I made myself suffer. That's scary. I don't know what that was. And that is a lovely note to end this particular journal, so we're gonna set that aside. And we're gonna pull out my next journal, which is actually slightly falling apart, so I kind of have to be gentle. My friend did a watercolor theme. We did like a bullet journal swap, and I did her bullet journal setups and she did mine. And she used watercolor, but it was at the very end of me already abusing this journal. And so it's kind of falling apart. So I gotta be kind of careful. We're gonna skip to October, which has gunk all over it or something. I don't know. I'll turn this sideways just so you can see. I remember coloring this black in with a fine liner, like a 0.5 for some reason, instead of just using a black marker at a volleyball game. I just thought I'd throw that bit of trivia. No one cares, but this was my Marvel/DC theme. It was supposed to be just a Marvel theme, but then I think I did like a Wonder Woman something, and someone was like, bro, that's DC. So I was like, oh yeah, it's just comic book related. Look, I participated in Inktober. No, I didn't. Just cute spreads. Cute spreads. And see, I just didn't use my budget tracker, and yeah, this was what I'm talking about. My Wonder Woman. And someone was like, bro, that's DC. And then I think I was trying to go back to make this page because I didn't want a blank page, but then I made it on this page, which was the wrong page. So I did I, and that little I is the imaginary number symbol in math, and I thought I was clever. I don't know how clever you would consider me for doing that, but there it is. This is my November, and this was Fairy Tail, which is an anime that I was watching at the time, and it was my hyperfixation. And this is a half-cooked cover page that was going to feature the 4 main characters, but never did. Calendar page. I was quite proud of these pages, I'm not gonna lie. I think these are still cute. Using the egg is a creative idea, I think, and then happy right here as well. And I like these bubbles. Oh, I love the bubbles. I'm gonna have to use that at one point. That'd be really tedious since I track 12 habits now, but the bubbles are cute. And that's another thing about looking back on these. I can gather inspiration from myself, from my past self. That's wild. This is my homework and tests, which that's really neat and crisp. Go old me. Look at these corners. Dadgum. I may need to steal that as well. This theme kind of goes hard, I'm not gonna lie. And then I have characters on every single week page with a quote. Old me, I'm telling you what, she was different, she was built different, but I love these weeklies so much. I think they all turned out so cool. Just old me, I'm telling you what. I freaking love Happy. I still love Happy, but I was obsessed. And then, I forgot about this. This is the month where I swore off ever doing a Christmas theme again because how disastrous December 2018 looked. So we start off not strong with this cover page. Also, look how cute my calligraphy is. And by cute, I mean horrid. This is fake calligraphy. I can see how I just like bolded the downstrokes. But that B, guarantee I saw somewhere and I was like, that's how I want to write my B. This is so innocent. Old me couldn't even do calligraphy. Oh my goodness. Sorry if I'm gushing too much about my past journal. It's just super sentimental. My habit tracker, which I think is sort of creative with how I have them like garland, I guess. These are ugly. Clearly I didn't track any homework or tests. And then these are my favorite pages to make every year. So I have the gifts received from like who they're from and then like what gifts they gave me. And it's so fun to look back on when I got things or what I was into at the time. Many of these things from my parents are Harry Potter related because I was absolutely obsessed. And then this was tracking the gifts I was making because at the time I really couldn't afford to give expensive gifts. And so I created different gifts for people and I like tracked my progress on them. But those are my journals for 2018. I really hope you enjoyed seeing my very humble beginnings and how my style has changed. I hope you'll stay tuned for the future videos to see 2019 and 2020s. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the very end of the video. It literally means the world that you stuck around all the way to the very end. If you liked the video, please do give it a like and also comment down below, chat with me in the comments, let me know when you started bullet journaling or who got you into bullet journaling and how you became a part of the bullet journaling community. And of course, if you want to see more bookish journaling or lifestyle content from me, please do consider subscribing and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Toodles!